We're back, and this time we're ready to have some more fun. We are at the BFA audio blog. We had our first one last week where we got a chance to first of all introduce the idea of the audio blog, which we hope that we'll be able to do throughout the year. But specifically this time we're working on a 5-week episode audio blog that has to do with the Now is the Time series, which is playing right now at bfainternational.com. As a free member, you get a chance to be a part of the screening of this 5-week episode. The first one was already played last weekend. We're now preparing for episode 2, and I love the title of it. It's called No More Secrets. It's radical. I busted my way in to the New York Grand Lodge of Masons, and we're going to talk about that in a second. But I don't want to go too far without getting a chance to just tell everyone how much I appreciate the fact that you're willing to listen to me uncensored and unplugged. I've got a guy who's helping me in the little area here in our secret spot where we do the audio blog. I call him the Keymaker. You'll hear about him. He's actually helping me prepare for this by doing something real important, and that is this. People who have watched episode 1 have actually commented. And what he does is he goes through the comments, and I haven't gotten a chance to see them in any depth, and he hands them to me, and I'll discuss those comments. So I want to invite you for this next episode to go to the audio blog. Go to bfainternational.com. You'll see blog, and you'll see number 2, which is related to the second episode. This weekend, we're playing the second episode of Now is the Time. And then, of course, the weekend after that will be 3, and then 4, and then the huge one, which is 5. And Keymaker, help me remember to give the special announcement about what's happening with episode 5. No, during this show, I want to talk about episode 5. We just got off the phone with one of the editors. Could you remind me about that at the end of this? Here's what I want to do now. And again, this is not going to be long. We're not going to be taking, an hour to do this. But it really is important to make connection with you all. I want to tell those of you that since last week that have signed up as free members, we can keep track of that. And more people have signed up, which means more people have access to the website, which means more people have a chance to comment. And for those of you that have signed up, some of you have even decided to go further and to go into the premium content library, where based on my last estimate, we have 50-some presentations that are in high quality television type presentations, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Some of them are an hour. 50 some of those presentations in the premium content library, including the Now is the Time episodes 1, 2, 3, and 4 are there right now. Now, if you don't want to do that and you want to wait every weekend, then that's fine. That's what we're doing right now. You can screen each episode, but they come out for the weekend and then we move on. Here's what we're going to do. The Keymaker's got some people who have actually had the guts to actually want to discuss some of this stuff. So I'm going to get the questions from them if I can. If I can get those questions, there we go. And here's the thing about this, it's in large type because I'm getting old. I can't see so well, but and I don't have my glasses. I don't have my readers. So here we're going to start out. Here's the comments. Okay, let's start here. January 5th. This is Regina, Bruce's wife. This is Regina, Bruce. Who's Bruce? How am I supposed to know who Bruce is? I don't know Bruce. I mean, is this a friend of mine? I don't know who this is. But this is great, Regina. You're Bruce's wife. Hey, forget about that. You're Regina. We watched this and were quite captivated. In other words, she watched, her and her husband, Bruce. Hey, Bruce, how you doing? Watched episode 1, and she says they were captivated. So many facts and hidden meanings. We were on the edge of our seat. Then the episode ended. I can't wait to see the second episode. Let me tell you something, Regina and Bruce. You are exactly responding the way that we created this thing. I've got some geniuses that I work with that have helped me to be able to take my little attempted production and put it in a video format that helps people be captivated. And I love the first episode. The second one is coming. And I just want to tell you that we appreciate that. She says we can't wait to see the second episode. Because they are registered as free members, they are set. Their seat is reserved. This weekend, from Friday through Sunday, the second weekend in January, they can watch episode 2. Thank you very much, Regina. Then we got another one from John. Thanks, Keith. This is important work. So glad you're doing it. I can't. Can I just ask a question? Is there a question amongst these comments, or are this just comments? No, I'm just asking because we said we were going to have questions. I mean, hey, I love the comments, love that. I want people to ask me some hard questions. I want people to challenge me. Here we got one from Joanne, she says, I really enjoyed watching this with a smiley face. No, right here it says it. There's a smiley face on the piece of paper. Yeah. She says, it is frightening to realize just how deeply entrenched our country is with occult/pagan symbolism. Now, I didn't say it. She did. I didn't go about the process to say, let's go look for things that are pagan. I didn't say, let's go look for occult. All I did was go to New York City with my camera in the spirit of Time Will Tell, which is also available in the Premium Content Library, the first season. And I just got a chance to go and see this stuff, and the pieces started falling together. I started connecting the dots, and I have to tell you, I am still surprised at what I uncovered in New York City. Because what I uncovered gave me an indication of just what Joanne is saying here. It's frightening to realize just how deeply entrenched our country is. What? I don't understand. They just took my question. Hey, while he takes the questions away, let me just say this. The point is this, and it isn't just to be sensational. It's to try to bring some information to the forefront. Go deeper than we see on the surface to bring this information up, and that, of course, helps people. Thanks. I got my piece of paper back. Okay, that's good. Oh, my question. Perry says this. My question. Keith, is this what we are supposed to do with this information? It is all so overwhelming. As I see it, what are these signs? I don't understand. Okay, so, the question. There we go. Let me see here. What are we supposed to do? Okay, folks, here we go. What are we supposed to do with this information? It is all so overwhelming. I love this question. As I see it, our nation as a whole has turned so far away from Yehovah that it is doomed as it hurls down its chosen path of destruction. Wow. I never dreamed I'd see the things I'm seeing, the flaunting of immoral behavior, murder of babies in the womb, wholesale greed, selfishness, and idolatry. And then she goes on to say, I guess it comes down to, as for me and my house, we will serve Yehovah, Joshua 24:15. Let me just tell you, you're a person that's close to my heart on this. I am also concerned about what I'm seeing in our country. And I don't just want to beat the drum and not do anything about it. I really believe there are a remnant of people who are being called to be a light unto the nations. We're supposed to be the ones that when we see something, we don't just see it and say, oh, isn't that terrible? We see it and we call people to account. We live in a way that would be pleasing to God. I have to tell you, I read in, I think it's in the book of Mark. I believe it is in Mark. Let me just see here. I'm going to see if I can get it here. Mark 13. Let me look here. I've got this deal. You know, the last time we did this, it took the keymaker so long it did take you long to find the verse. So what I've done is I've got a backup in case he can't find it. In Mark 13, Yeshua, Jesus, is speaking, and he's talking about those days during the time of the tribulation and when the stars will fall from heaven and the powers that are in the heavens will be shaken. Mark 13, 24, 25. They will see the Son of Man coming, it says, in clouds with great power and glory. And he goes on to talk about, he says this, and I love this verse. It says, Mark 13, 28. Now learn the parable from the fig tree. When its branch has already become tender and puts forth its leaves, you know that summer is near. Can anyone else deny the fact that when we read in Mark and we read in Matthew and we hear about the things that will come, we're looking around in our world right now, whether it's earthquake, famine, the shaking of the heavens, things that are taking place above our heads. I mean, it's hard not to, I'm not trying to be an end times guy. What I'm saying is, I think whether we're at the very end, the chapter has clearly shifted. We've changed. We're at the end of the book, closer to the end of the book than the beginning. Would you agree with that, Keymaker? We're at least closer. Is that okay? We're closer to the end than we were 2,000 years ago. And I got to say, as he spoke to his disciples, talking about the kinds of things that would take place, it's hard for me not to look in my newspaper and open up my Bible and see the connections. It just seems like they are everywhere. And so I'm not going to spend a lot more time on this. I want to move quickly. I know already we're going to get to this point where he's going to start putting up his hand and telling me how many minutes we have. Can we talk about what's coming this weekend? This weekend is probably, of the entire 5 episodes, this was the one that caught me most off guard. Let me give you a little background. one of the things that happened to me is I had a grandfather who I didn't know until he died was actually a Mason. And how I found out about, if you don't know, episode 2 is titled No More Secrets. It's where I get a chance to go into the Grand Lodge of New York of the Masons. Now, when my grandfather died, the weirdest thing happened. I'm there and my grandmother says, Keith, you know, you're a new up and coming pastor. You get to speak at your grandfather's funeral. So I'm there at my grandfather's funeral. And all of a sudden, there are these guys who come to the front of the church and they've got on aprons. No, I'm telling you, they're aprons. They look like aprons and they start doing these things that I have to be honest with you, I had no clue what they were doing. I asked my grandmother, because at that point I didn't know what this was. I asked my grandmother and she said, oh yeah, your grandfather was a Mason. I still to this day do not know about the ritual that they did at his funeral. But what I did is after he died, I got a chance to get my grandfather's Masonic book. No, they got books, like secret books and stuff. And back at this time, I was a new pastor and I looked at it and something just said to me, you know, this isn't something I want to do. Now, I know my family's probably going to get upset about this, but when I saw this Masonic book, I opened it up and started reading it. I decided to burn it. I burned this book because I felt like it had something eerie about it. All I can tell you was something eerie about it. I burned it. Well, here I am in New York City. I'm doing this it was great camera work. I'm doing great camera work with my little HD camera that they make fun of over here you make fun of it on a regular basis. And I'm panning back and I see this building with the big blue circle with the Masonic symbol on it. If you know anything about me, what I love to do is see with my own 2 eyes. So I made a decision. I'm going to go to that building and I'm going to get in that building and see what's on those 14 floors or whatever it was, 20 some floors. So the long and short of it is I walked into the building. I couldn't believe it. Walked into the building and I'm not going to bore you with it all. You'll see it in the show. But when I get in there, I tell these guys, hey, listen, I saw your sign on your building. My grandfather was a Mason and everything changed. It's like they became football recruiters. It's like they were excited about me being there and they said, hey, would you like to see the Masonic, room? And I'm like, of course, I've got my little camera. And so they take me on a tour that literally opened my eyes to some things that connect to the entire series. Watch episode 2. I would love for someone to watch episode 2 and come up with a question that we can delve deeper into about what I found in that place. Let me just give you one hint. I came across something by breaking into their library. I shouldn't say breaking into the library. I mean, so they got a code. You got to get the code. But basically, they allowed me into the library because I had been on this tour earlier, and the librarian lets me in. And I get into the library, and I have an encounter with something that just absolutely shocked me. I would love for you all to watch episode 2. Watch it this weekend. Screen it for me. Here's why we're doing the screening. Can I tell them about this? Is this okay? The reason we're doing the screening is as of today, we have 2 networks, a Christian network and a secular network that would love to play Now Is the Time. No, I'm telling you. We watch Time Will Tell on prime time on Church Channel. We had The Road to Reformation on prime time on the Church Channel. We now have an invitation to put Now Is the Time on secular TV. Now let me make a confession. I actually feel like the Now Is the Time series is a hook for people out there that don't have any information. Some people, sometimes I like to say this, I don't like to preach to the choir. When I did Now Is the Time, and with these guys helping me, I'm using this as something that can reach someone who has no level of belief, that says, hey, what is going on? And a way to engage them, begin to get them to the place where they can have their own encounter. Well, as a result of the screening, what we're hoping is that as you watch it, you will write us. You will tell us what we think. If you think that we've gone off the farm, that's okay. Then it's on those guys that did it. But if you think it's something that would be worthy of the general public seeing it, we have this opportunity, and we'd love for you to join in with us in terms of watching it, screening it, praying with us, and ultimately supporting us as we potentially bring the Now Is the Time series on television. In the meantime, you'll watch episode 2. You register as a free member, and then when you register as a free member, you get to. Now, someone's going to say, oh, I just now heard about this and I watched episode 2. Where's episode 1? Episode 1 is in Premium Content Library. Let me explain it to them one more time so there's no confusion. Right now, This is free. You register as a free member, you watch episode 2. And then next week, you watch episode 3. If you want to watch everything we have in the premium content library, including 1, 2, 3, and 4, and let me give you a hint, soon to be 5, you can go and watch. Okay, you can go and watch that anytime you want. You can, okay, look at this. I can't believe it. You mean I've got someone? Let me read this from a friend named Carla. She says this. Thank you, Keith. I'm glad you're sharing the truth with us. Being a part of the Academy is worth far more than the $10 each. She pays $10. We only charge $7.99. Some people have decided to go above what we're actually saying is the minimum is $7.99. Can I say that word again? It's minimum $7.99. Some folks, like our friend Carla, says, hey, let me give you $10 a month. The idea, and it says, is now is the time is needed. Wisdom of what is happening in our country and truth. I am excited to have access to all the teachings for available on the website. Also, the site works great. I love when people say things work. Hey, this is a shout out to Link. Link, if you're listening, we call him the wizard when he does, design work, but when he does computer website work, we call him Link. If you're listening, the site works great. Blessings and praises for you are a watchman on the wall. Shalom. Let me just say thank you to my sister Carla and to the guys that are helping us, like the Keymaker and Seraph and Link and everyone that puts their hands to this thing. It's amazing. So what I want to say is this. Episode 2 this weekend, this is just a quick little thing. There's so much that's in there. There's so much hidden meaning in this. We're actually putting up a video. Guess what we did? I convinced the Keymaker to make a Facebook shareable video for each of the episodes. So last week, episode 1, which is still on the website, is available for you to see. Episode 2 will be this weekend to Facebook, everywhere. Episode 3, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, let me tell you this. We are excited about what we're doing. We hope you will be excited about it. We want to engage you into this process with us. All you got to do, you can watch the audio, listen to the audio blog. You can watch the series. This is going to be amazing. And now here's the big announcement. You tell me to wrap up, but you don't remind me what I want to tell the people at the end. Let me tell you what happened. Just before I started, I got a phone call from one of our editors. He is working on episode 5. Let me just say right now, episode 5 takes it to a different level. And we just did a little section on episode 5 that is, I have to just tell you, I watch it and I am excited. So that's going to be coming at the end of the series. We're going to have that. We're going to make that available for everyone at a huge screening, the Now is the Time screening. We're going to end this thing right now. I want to tell you how much I appreciate you listening to me. This is my opportunity to just share what's on my heart. I love what I said at the beginning. Let's do a little bit of living, a little bit of loving, a little bit of laughing. All throughout this year, there's so many things that we're doing that are serious and deep, but this is just a chance to share a little bit of my excitement with you during this time. I appreciate you listen. Remember to do this. You keep reading, we'll keep working. Until next time.